So welcome to BLACKBOYGRAM channel. As you already know, like, this channel is all about sculpting. So this is Blender. When you first open Blender, this is what pops up. So we'll be going to Blender sculpting, and by clicking Blender sculpting, this automatically creates a UV sphere, like a quad sphere, which we can use to start sculpting right away instead of going through general and just start creating like UV sphere and all of that. So yeah, this is a quad sphere which you can start sculpting on. And yeah, let me walk you through the interface. When you first open Blender sculpting, this is what you see: the brush on the left hand side here, the sculpt mode, view, sculpt, brush, add mask, the name of the brush, and we also have this area on the right side where we have the render engine area and some other settings which we can use. Also, you are in sculpt mode doesn't mean you can go back to object mode and add object if you want. So my first advice for you is, when you open Blender sculpting or even Blender in general, you turn off this camera and light so there won't be of any disturbance to you. And the second thing I want you to note is this, which is the axis. For example, this is the x-axis. The x-axis here is the front axis. Like, once you're on x, is facing you directly. The y is the side, the z is the top, and also the opposite. We also have the opposite of this axis, which the x is the front, right? So the opposite of x is the back, as you can see here. We have the y axis, which is the side, like the right side or the left side of the object you are sculpting. So the opposite of the y is this. And we also have the z axis. The opposite of the z is the bottom. So you should always note that while sculpting. These are some of the things we have in Blender that we don't even have in ZBrush. But I think the latest ZBrush is coming with this feature. But yeah, in Blender you are never confused. That's why Blender, sometimes is more better than some 3D apps, in my own knowledge, to be honest, because I use some other 3D apps. So yeah, this is the layer panel. While sculpting, we don't really use layers. Sometimes you might need it, but we don't really need layers. And you can create new layers by right clicking and a pop-up menu, then select new. But we don't need that right now. So we also have the viewport shading. This allows you to, like, for example, we have the wireframe viewport shading. This is the wireframe viewport shading. You can see the wireframe of the object of the quad sphere which we want to start sculpting on. And as we start to sculpt, to start to change form, we have the object mode, which we are right now, and we also have the material mode. Where is it? Yeah. And also we have the rendered mode, which is the EV. Right now we are on EV render engine. We can change this to other engines if we like. For example, we have workbench. For example, you can use workbench renderer. Is a very useful render engine because, for example, if you just want to make a sculpt and upload on your YouTube without texturing, you can just render it using workbench renderer. We have the I use mascap the most. I prefer mascap because I always give the objects like materials. So we'll go into that later. And yeah, we have cycles render engine. The cycles render engine is the one that gives you realistic render of your object. For example, the light is on, so cycles render engine gives you realistic render of your object. Eevee gives us real-time like real-time render of the object we are working on, and workbench just gives you, you know, just normal regular render. So yeah, that's basically it. And in the next video I'll be explaining, because I'm trying to make the video short as possible, like 5 minutes. So in the next video I'll be explaining the brush systems, how you can make it easy for you while sculpting and all of that, and we'll start sculpting some few things. So see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for so many goodies are coming. I mean, goodies.